Dive into that a little bit. Was it just an opportunity that just kind of fell right in front of you, or
No, yeah, it wasn't really a fell in front of me because my father-in-law at the time was like, "Hey," he's like, "Nick," he's like, "Hey, there's an opportunity. Do you want it?" When I was younger, I used to work for my friends' diner. My friends were Greek, right? We own restaurants, diners. So there are a lot of Greeks in the area. They owned either restaurants, diners, bagel shops in New Jersey. So I worked at a bagel shop. I worked at diners, and and I didn't want to work for my dad, but I did. But I worked for a couple of times with my dad. But I'm like, let me just I don't know. I just fell into the restaurant business. I'm like, I always wanted to open a bagel shop up. It was bagels, and we made sandwiches at the bagel shops.
yeah,
Cream cheese, butter bagels, all that stuff, and sandwiches, and just cold cut sandwiches. And I had the bug in me. I saw the amount of cash that they were pulling in. I was like, damn. I was like, this is pretty sweet. So I was like, you know what? Let's do the Subway business. And my father-in-law said, "Hey, Nick," he goes, "we have this opportunity." He bought a gas station property and they were building a Subway. The first franchisee didn't want it. The nearest franchisee didn't want it. The second nearest franchisee didn't want it. The third nearest franchisee didn't want it. He ran 13 restaurants on one point. He's like, "I don't want this thing, man. I'm sick of it. Like, I'm so tired of the restaurant." He goes, "You're young." I was 25 at the time. He's like, Would you want to buy this?" I said, "Sure." I said, but I had to go through the development agent. I had to get testing. I had to get a loan. Like literally, I put zero down. I had to get a line of credit somewhere, and they gave it to me. And I was working my ass off, and excuse my language, and making nothing the first year. So the first year I opened up the Subway, they would say it was in a gas station, right? So people are like, "Nah, Nick, it's not going to do that well. I don't think it's going to," and they were right. It was ranked 90th out of 120th in all the stores in the Central Ohio area.
hmm.
And so I was like, what do I do to make this thing better? And so I always thought outside the box, hard work and customer service, being the best at that. I was building the relationship. But what I created was a service oriented Subway where you have more employees than you need in the beginning or during lunch. And then you have enough people to train and to serve the customers because you're training them to come back, right?
Yeah,
When the worst thing, when you guys go, when I go to a place at lunch, I only have 30 minutes, right? You
yep,
don't want to wait there 25 minutes to get your sandwich.
yeah,
You don't have that time, right? So I always had enough staff to service our clients and our whoever came in to service them in a fast and friendly manner, right? I treated them like they wanted to be treated. So I built a business. That was one way I built it. Then I said, you know what? I could only get so many people inside the store. What can I do to expand my business? So I said, oh, you know what? No Subway's doing before all the delivery services. I was the only Subway delivering.
oh
I did
wow,
delivery services. I had catering businesses. I was delivering for title companies, for for pharmaceutical sales reps,
yeah,
for physicians when they had meetings. I made a lot of contacts that way. And through Subway, I learned the systems, the scaling, how to, operations manual. People need to know. I mean, if you want a business, this is what you need to do. I mean, there was almost 30,000 Subways. In order to grow, you need to scale out. You need a system in place, right? They
yep,
have the system in place. They're a franchise. Obviously, McDonald's is another franchise. But that's how it went, man. I built it through customer service, through helping people and thinking outside the box. How do we grow the business? And I thought outside the store. Because when you're in that wall, in those four walls, only so many people come in. How are they going to come in? Through marketing. We had a big marketing fund. I was part of the advertising board. And so I tell people this. I said, well, part of the advertising, another thing that Subway taught me, I said, you know what, dude, I said, those $5 foot longs, they look so freaking damn good on TV. What do? They, they look so good. They fold the meat.
yeah,
The lighting is perfect, right? I said, the reason why it looks good, that's called food staging. And I use this as a reference to staging a house. I said, it's the same thing. I said, if Subway is going to pay that much money for a $5 foot long, we need to for your $1 million home or $500,000 home, we need to prepare it, stage it just like that. Think about that. You only have one chance to make a good first impression. That's another thing that Subway taught me, right? It's the marketing, the advertising, how to scale out, and how to do all those things. So it's an amazing it was an amazing experience for me.